In this video, we're going to discuss how to make submissions in Gradescope and how to submit those in a proper format that Gradescope can read. And so for this, you're going to need some kind of paper, something to submit, and you're going to need either a phone or a computer on which to capture the image. So when it comes to Gradescope, you saw before that you can log in, and when you log in, see your courses, and you'll see, okay, in this case now I've got an assignment to do. And so what you do is you can click on that assignment, and it's going to show you a couple things. First of all, if you don't have the assignment, which you should, it's going to be in Blackboard. You should be able to download it pretty easily. If you want to submit it electronically, you can work on it inside of your software program and modify whatever you need to. Or you can download it and print it and write on it yourself. So I'm going to do that actually. And I'm going to print it. And once I have that, so I've got it going, I've got it printing, I fill it out, and now I've got it where I've got the actual document here. I can fill it out, and okay, I'm gonna so I've got an answer here on the page. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to switch over to my phone for this, what you're going to want to do is if you go to your phone, you should have a couple of options here. Now, I've got an Android phone. This Android phone has a program that I can download in the App Store called Genius Scan. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go to Genius Scan, and I'm going to click on this little camera button. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my video here, or my, and what Genius Scan does, and I love it about this, is if you've got it on a nice contrasting background here, it should be able to pick up what it is that you and now looking at it, you can say, okay, this is the picture I wanted. I can crop it if I want. I can rotate it. I can filter it. So one of the things that it does that is usually pretty good is for contrast, it'll turn everything into black and white, which helps the object to really come through much more closely. I want format right way, and then I'm going to click on the share button here, this sideways triangle, and I can give it a name. Post-lecture 1. Format I want it saved to is PDF. PDFs are going to come through way better than anything else is. Now you do have some options. You can export it to your Dropbox or your Google Drive. I'm just going to put it to my device memory, and I've got a scans folder already set up here. So I'm going to tell it to put it in my scans folder. It moves it for me. It's already been exported. That's great. Now I can go to Chrome, go back to my Gradescope, and if I want to submit it, click on that assignment again. And here, since it's a PDF, I can submit it as a PDF, select the file from my files, and here it is, post-lecture 1, hit upload. Now the last thing it's going to do is, there are 3 different questions in this post-lecture. It wants to know where those are. They all happen to be on the same page. So I can just choose 1, 2, 3, I'm sorry, there are 4 questions. So I just put them all on that page and hit submit. And I've done it correctly. It'll allow me, I can preview this, so I can zoom in on it and see what my instructor is going to see. I can look at it more closely. I can, I can download the original. I can resubmit if I think that I made a mistake or something like that. I'm not locked into it until after the due date, but there it is. That's all that I need to do. Now, if you don't have an Android phone, if you have an iPhone or an iPad or some other kind of tablet, the procedure is going to be pretty similar, though just slightly different. The main difference is going to be in that Genius Scan is not an iPhone app. It's not in the iOS operating system. There's an app called Scannable that does something similar that you can use. You can also use, there's an image capture in the iNotes app that you can use that does a similar kind of thing. So those are all things that you could do. The other thing that you can do, and this is not that uncommon, is if you have almost all of the post lectures where you would have to download it this way are available in a Word document format. If you wanted to do it in Word, you could save this in the end and export it. And depending upon what you have on your computer, at the very least, you'll have this button here that says Create PDF. If you do that, same thing. You can publish it, and it'll save it as a PDF, and you can upload it directly into Gradescope that way. So anytime you have a Gradescope assignment, that's what you need to do, is in some way capture the image, either electronically on a computer or electronically through your phone, and then find a way to upload that PDF and get it into Gradescope. So that's what you have to do. Now it does say here that submitting images is an option. I would be cautious about using that option. Images tend to come in a little bit darker. It doesn't seem to have as much contrast as some of those dedicated apps. And so on my end, it's a little bit harder to read. And if it's hard for me to read, it's hard for me to grade. And that can mean bad things for your score if I can't read what you wrote. So just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure that your images are good resolution, that they look good before you just submit them. Don't just throw them in there and hope for the best. You know, actually preview them, make sure that they're legible, make sure that somebody can read them, because that's really what's going to determine whether or not you get a good grade is, you know, can you be understood? So that's all for this video. I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good afternoon.